Hello everyone, welcome to my technical presentation. Today I'm going to be discussing about artificial intelligence in healthcare. As you guys all know, artificial intelligence is a very broad topic. There is a lot of scope in healthcare for artificial intelligence, but in this presentation I'm only going to be covering a few of the major aspects of artificial intelligence in healthcare, since it is a very broad topic. So to dive right in, as an overview of artificial intelligence in healthcare, the main things that it can do is predict illnesses and treatments. It can help with analyzing and storing and manipulating medical records and workflow. It can help stimulate drug development and help pathology and radiology, and it can help with analyzing and conducting medical imaging. So, as an introduction to artificial intelligence, it's basically a subset of computer science which deals with robust data sets and works to solve specific problems with less dependence on humans and more dependence on computers and systems that are designed by humans. So as many people may think, many jobs may be removed because of this dependence on machines. This is true, but there is also another side to this, that there are more jobs being made for system admins and programmers, because as we have more machines, we need more people that are creating and maintaining and debugging with those machines. So as an introduction to machine learning, machine learning is basically a subfield of artificial intelligence. It uses data and algorithms. So the main difference between machine learning and traditional programming is that in traditional programming, as we all know, there is an input and then there is the program which is designed by the user, and then there's an output which comes out of that program. And in machine learning, we put the input and the output and let the system create the program. So basically there are three types of machine learning. There is supervised, unsupervised, and semi-supervised learning. In unsupervised learning, there are clusters of unlabeled data that is analyzed, so there is no need of human intervention in this kind of learning. But in supervised learning, there is a labeled input and output, so there is need of human intervention. And then semi-supervised learning kind of comes in the middle of that with some supervision. So yeah. Machine learning can be broken down into three major steps of decision processing, error function, and model optimization, and 7 more smaller steps. So to look at the image here, we're gonna go over the 7 smaller steps so we can, go into more detail. So the 7 steps are first to gather the data, and then prepare the data, and then choosing a model, which is choosing an algorithm, and then training that algorithm, and then we have we're going to let the algorithm perform its evaluation, and then we're going to do hyperparameter tuning, which is basically creating parameters for the evaluation. and this is where some of our human intervention occurs, and then we're going to let the system create its prediction. So basically in machine learning, we usually have an input and output that goes in, and it's basically, you know, comparing that data and making an evaluation and analyzing the data. So to move on to natural language processing, NLP, so it's basically a way in which phrases or words are translated and mapped. It uses the cipher language structure, and it's basically a way in which data is converted and used to analyze. So in healthcare, medical forms, insurance cards, and call center conversations, and many more stuff are used with natural language processing to gather data and analyze. So to continue on with natural language processing, the major process can be broken down into 7 steps. So let's say we have a paragraph. The first step would be segmentation. Segmentation is the process in which the paragraph is broken down into individual sentences. Then the second step is tokenizing. Tokenizing is a process in which the sentence is broken down into its individual words. And then the third step is where the stop words are removed. So stop words are any extra words that you add into a sentence to make, you know, grammatically correct, like a, as, if, are. So all those words are eliminated. And then we have lemmatization, where the root word of each word is returned. So for example, we might have the word running. So for the word running, the root word run is returned, and this is what the computer reads. And then we have speech tagging, and speech tagging is basically the process in which the sentence is converted into a form, and each word of each sentence is given a tag to indicate what part of speech it is, like noun, verb, adjective, adverb, and so on. And then we have the 6th step of named entity tagging, in which the program will recognize any named entities and categorize them based on the type of entity and give them a tag. And then lastly, we have an algorithm which reads this prepared data and does the job. Moving on, we have there's also deep neural networks, DNNs, which are another subset of machine learning. Deep neural networks actually resemble the structure of a human brain. So DNNs are majorly used in healthcare to detect cancer cells and to analyze and help conduct MRI images. So as I said before, deep neural networks are kind of like this artificial neural network. There's multiple layers. So as we can see in this image here, we have an input layer where data is inputted, and then at the end over here we have an output layer where the output data is leaves. And then in the middle we have these hidden layers which are connected through connecting channels, and data is basically transferred through those channels with an activation function. So this is basically the gist of how a deep neural network processes and reads data. Okay, so moving on, chatbots are a type of conversational robot. I think we've all ran into chatbots several times in our lives. Whenever you go on a website, there's usually an automated messaging little platform in which a chatbot robot is sitting there waiting to answer your questions. And a lot of times when you call some kind of store or big organization, there will be an automated voice that will help guide you and answer your questions. So in healthcare, chatbots are useful in stimulating medical communication and conducting health surveys. So as you can see in the image, chatbots work in a way in which the user or the bot instance sends a message, and when the user sends a message, the bot instance uses a natural language processing algorithm to read that message and understand it and then respond back to the user. And these kinds of things are literally done in splits of seconds. So it's really a way in which we can appreciate the concept of artificial intelligence, because if we had humans on the other side, we know that it wouldn't take a split of a second to answer questions. So this was basically the end of my presentation. Here I have all my references that I've used throughout this presentation, and I just want to say thanks for watching, and I hope you've learned a lot about artificial intelligence through my presentation. I myself have learned a lot through the research for this presentation, and I've really began to appreciate the process. Thank you.